Hello, everyone. I'm coming on real quick to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Are you a coach? Are you a coach? And I want to just, in a very short video, give you some information to help identify yourself if you are a coach. Because so many people are coaches and they just don't realize it. So many people are already coaching people, but they're just not getting paid for it. And so in this video, I just want to answer a few questions really quickly that I get from so many people who are thinking like, I really feel like I'm drawn to help people. I feel like I want to make a difference. I feel like I have experiences, I have knowledge, I have wisdom, I have advice to give, but am I really a coach? Rebecca, do I really need to become a professional coach to do those things? Lisa just says, I'm a coach not getting paid. Exactly, Lisa. This is where I'm coming on this afternoon, is because so many of you are already coaching people. And recently in our summer session for our coaching certification, the question came up in a one-on-one session with one of the students who's in class. And she said, how am I going to transition to get all these people around me who are used to talking to me for free, that I give all this advice to, and I've been coaching them for a long time? How am I going to get this transition to happen to where I'm no longer coaching them for free? And I explained to her that for so many people, you're a coach. And see, this is going to help you. If you're a coach, you tend to attract people who are hurting or struggling with life. And before you really recognize that you're a coach or that you should be professionally coaching, here's where it gets tricky. Because you will attract a whole lot of hurting people. You'll attract people who seem to always be going through something. And these people, you will try to be their friend. You will try to date them. They're of the opposite sex. You could be trying to date people who actually need your professional coaching services. These are ways to recognize when you are supposed to be professionally coaching. If you find that you consistently seem to draw people who are needing your help, you have the keys, you have the advice, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the experiences, you have the tools, you naturally tend to guide them into solutions for where they're wanting to be in life. In other words, in your everyday life, you're leading people, you're advising people, right? And I remember before I got into professional coaching, so often I was like, I just tend to attract people who got issues. They got issues. And I wouldn't always be happy with the people around me that I would draw into what I considered my circle. I would always sometimes be thinking, I want a different circle. I want people who are doing things, on the next level. Hey, Miracle. I want a new circle of people. And what happens is, because you don't realize the innate nature of who you are, there's no distinguishing between the people you allow to be close to you. In other words, in your inner circle of friends and confidants, and the people who really should be clients. Cedric says he's raising his hand. Me, right? So there's no boundaries, because you're just seeing yourself as just a good everyday person, and you want to help people, and you have these natural gifts of helping people, and you have spiritual gifts. And so anybody that comes your way, you're trying to help, you're trying to serve, you're trying to do this. But in the meantime, there's a lack of boundaries, because you don't recognize who you are. And so you allow people close to you who are not healed, not whole, who have major issues. And then you find yourself feeling drained all the time. all the time, drained in your personal relationships, drained in the people that you've allowed to connect with you and who have access to you. They have too much access. Why? Because you don't have any professional boundaries. And then you feel like you're a bad person if you just start cutting people off because they literally are always draining you, or they always have something going on, because your kind heart, your God heart, the heart in you that wants to help people, is you're humble. Guess why you're humble? You're humble because you've been through so much yourself that then you find it difficult because you feel like you're judging people. Because you're saying, I don't want to be drained by these people anymore. I don't want these people to have access to me anymore, or have free access to me. So in your mind, you're always juggling between dealing with people, but also then trying to cut people off. Because you're recognizing these people are not where I'm at. We're not on the same page. I'm trying to do some personal development. I'm trying to always go to the next level. I'm naturally driven to always be trying to improve myself, always be trying to reach for whatever God has in me for my next level in destiny, right? I'm always doing that, but not everybody around me is always doing that. So there's always this kind of constant tug and pull that you're feeling like you need to leave some people alone or move on beyond people, because you eventually get to the point where you realize they're not listening to me. They're not taking the advice. They just want to vent all the time about whatever's going on with them, but they don't take my advice serious. They don't listen to what I'm trying to tell them to do. Why? Because you're not a professional coach. You're just their friend. They see you as being on their level. Even though your life has already manifested better results than theirs, they think you're just blessed or lucky. I'm telling the truth. They think that Rebecca, she's just so lucky. She's just so blessed. And then when you tell them, they're calling you constantly about the same situations over and over and over again. It'll be just a different scenario, a different boyfriend, a different dating situation, a different situation at work, but it's really recycled issues over and over again because they refuse to change. They refuse to level up. They refuse to listen. So then it'll be something else again and something else again. And you call yourself being a good friend because you want to be able to help them and you want to be there for them. And God, now you're 10 years in on this friendship, but you recognize this is very draining. What am I getting out of this? I'm saying all of this to say, if this is you, you may be a coach. It took me years and years of coming to the realization of who I am and what I was supposed to be doing. Why? Because it's hard when you're born to be a coach, because guess what? You're also can be good at a lot of different things. You can be good at sales. You can be great at customer service. You can be great at anything that is centered around people. Why? You're a people person. You love people. You love helping people. You love serving people. You love inspiring people. You love motivating people. You love helping people to feel good. You get fulfillment out of actually helping people. And especially when it comes to something where you have helped them to fulfill something or a goal. Oh man, listen, if you help somebody get from A to B, my phone is doing something crazy over on YouTube with the lighting. If you get to help somebody get from A to B and they get some incredible results, you're like, oh shoot, this is the bomb. I love it. Like, listen, for me, I don't care what the goal is. Anything that I can help somebody get from A to B and they get some results and like their life changes, or they feel better, or they're like the light bulb comes on and they're like, they get it and they activate it and now they get the results and manifest everything they've been wanting. I'm just like, yes. And I didn't recognize before I became a coach that this was an inherent part of my nature. It's an inherent part of who I am, which is why business goals, right? Helping people. When I was in corporate America, I was in sales. right? I loved helping people. I loved helping people to fulfill their needs for their business. I loved helping people to strategize on how to figure things out. I loved being a resource. I loved that part of helping people to be successful, especially small business owners. Right? But then you're like, well, what am I meant to do? So a lot of coaches find themselves in a lot of different roles. You will try this, you'll try that, you'll try this. You try MLM, you try to do this in your corporate career. Oh, I'll be in human resources. I love people, right? You try these different things all the time. Why? Because you're looking for that thing that could be more fulfilling, because you're still not fulfilled. No matter how much money you're making. I started working in my corporate job. I started making so much money, you guys. And I thought, okay, I make this money, I'm going to be happy. I love meeting the owners of these businesses, and I love being networking and getting to know people and getting to know people personally. I just loved it. But then no matter how much money I made in my corporate job, I still wasn't happy. And it was like, it wasn't fulfilling. So then I thought, well, maybe it's because I need to start my own business. And if I'm working for myself, doing something that's helping people, and I make a bunch of money working for myself, I'm going to be happy and fulfilled. So I start my first construction supply company. We get it off the ground. It becomes my first 7-figure business. And it's hitting on all cylinders. It's doing great. I love it. We helped to rebuild after the earthquake in Haiti. We're doing all kinds of things. I'm able to donate stuff. I'm making a difference. Yay, this should be so fulfilling. Nope. It was like very empty. Like, okay, I'm making all this money, but I'm still not fulfilled. Why am I still not happy? Why is this still not enough? Why is this still, it's okay, but, and I'm grateful. It was a blessing. I was grateful for the money, right? I was excited to be out of corporate America working for myself. But once all of that wore off, and it's the day-to-day running the construction supply business, it was like, this ain't it either. Dang, what is it? So in the course of running my construction supply company and making all this money, I start coaching. Just like dipping my toe in it, like mentoring, love and relationships, because I'd always been interested in love and dating and men and women and how it all works. And I just kind of started dipping my toe in it a little bit. I started offering things. I said, I'm going to take this life coaching certification I found online. And I paid like $500 for this life coaching certification that you take over the weekend, and signed up for it because I was like, well, if I'm going to do this, let me get some training. So I sign up for this thing, $500. And in one weekend, they do you're literally online with them the whole weekend, intensive, whatever they consider training or whatever. And literally, you guys, then it was just kind of like they just throw you out and say, hey, go be a coach. Good luck. And it was like literally in my coaching practice, I never used not one thing from what I learned in that weekend. Not one thing. None of it. None of it was useful in my coaching practice. So I'm literally out here just start winging it, like just start coming up with the ideas that God gives me to help people. I started coaching people for like $50 an hour. I didn't even have an office, I had shut down my construction supply business office because I didn't need it. So I didn't need the overhead. So I started meeting people at a coffee shop and like $50 an hour. And I was in the back corner of a coffee shop coaching people. And next thing you know, I start praying with people. And next thing you know, is like I'm getting more and more clients. And it's like, wait a minute, like this is really working. But mind you, I still wasn't making a bunch of money because I wasn't charging what it was worth. I was just Like I was still treating it like hobby coaching, right? Like, but I was charging just a little bit of money because the part of me that feels like ministry feels like, do I really want to charge for this? I don't know. I'm still doing that conflict between charging really what I'm worth for the level of breakthrough. I had clients back there from you guys at $50 an hour that I coached out of situations. Honey, when I tell you God came in and turned people's lives around, got them out of bad relationships, got them through divorces, people getting their hearts healed up and ready for next level life and helping. I was back then helping people to live abundantly for $50, right? Woo, they got a deal. But I learned a few things. I started learning what works, what doesn't work. God began to show me what works with people. He began to give me steps and exercises that literally helped people to get faster breakthrough. And so then as I start implementing those steps and I start creating courses and programs, I start raising my prices. Right? Because now I was taking myself more seriously. Like, okay, by this point, I'm putting out a book, I have a radio show, I'm doing different things. I'm like, okay, I feel like my own credentials are growing, right? So I start charging more money. But I didn't have anybody guiding me or mentoring me or giving me those systems, right? Because I hear people ask, do you have to get certified to be a coach, Rebecca? No, you do not have to get certified to be a coach. You do not. Because I got certified because I started calling myself a certified coach right after I took that little weekend cheap, training over the weekend, but never used it for anything. So the question is, do you have to get certified? No. But here's the problem. You will spend years and years and years figuring things out because you don't know what to do, versus learning best practices, learning what works from somebody who's already been there, done that, right? Learning how to get over the blocks in your mind of saying, I don't want to charge a bunch of money, I just want to help people. Okay, let me tell you something I don't tell a whole lot of people. So in my professional coaching practice, I have courses that start at $4,000, $6,000, $10,000, and even $25,000 program. So guess what? God brings people to me who need my help, who need my courses, right? And I've got clients who just pay full price, boom, right off the bat. They're off to the races. They love it. They need it. I want it. I thank you so much, Rebecca. And they pay for those courses. Then guess what? I could sell 3 courses in a week and bill out $30,000 for that week and turn around and God guides someone to send me an email. Someone sees a video and sends an email and says, Rebecca, I really need you. I'm hurting. And it's something they say in that email just, gets to me and I feel it and I know that they seriously need help. Guess what? I'm on a free consultation with them and I give them my $4,000 healing course. Wait a minute. You mean I can be a highly paid, multiple 6-figure coach, but also be obedient to the Spirit to sow into people's lives when He puts it on my heart to do that? Hello? Yes. It's not an either or situation. Just because you're a professional paid coach doesn't mean that you're still not giving and sowing and being there for people. Being a highly paid 6-figure coach enables me to do videos and write books and give away free classes and be able to give and donate things to people when God puts it on my heart. See, what we have to get out of is this mindset that in order to serve, you've got to be broke. In order to serve, you need to be living in lack. No, I'm sorry. I'm a much better servant. My ministry is much better served when all of my financial needs are taken care of. The last thing I'm worrying about is money. Are you guys hearing me? If you didn't have to ever worry about money, what would you be able to do? Oh, Come on, God. If you were able to never, ever worry about paying a bill, never, ever had to worry about where the money's coming from for the mortgage or the car payments, or you know you can afford to do whatever you want to do, swipe the card, go on that vacation, buy the bag, do whatever you want to do, how much better equipped, how much more productive would you be about the things that God puts on your heart, the things that God drops into your spirit? Because how many of you right now have ideas, have these phenomenal ideas that God has given you to make a difference in people's lives, but it's going to cost money to get it up and running, and you don't know how to make money from it? Like, in other words, you need to give it. It's something you need to do for free because it doesn't really have a profit model. How many of you guys are sitting on things like that right now? Right this second. Things that God has just dropped into your spirit, but you don't have the capital to launch it, the money it's going to take to really get it off the ground, or you're already so broke or living paycheck to paycheck that you're always trying to figure out how to make money from every idea that God gives you. Guess what? Everything that God gives you isn't going to have a profit model. It's not going to be profitable. It's not going to be something that you sell. Which is why I believe that what God is doing is helping people to understand, if you have a heart to serve, if this is you, you may be a coach, and it's going to be time for you to get off the bench and get in the game so that God can bless your finances, so he can turn around and then work through you to do all this other stuff that you're called to do. And you can use your own money to finance it. You can use your own money to get it off the ground. You don't have to just be looking for an angel investor. No, you got money. It's not meant for you to be broke. Living abundantly, wealth is a major, major component of abundant life. There's no way around it. I didn't say it's everything. I didn't say it was every element of abundant life, but living abundantly, wealth is definitely included. Health, wealth, love, peace, and purpose. So a lot of the time what I find is that coaches, people who should be professionally coaching, you're over here hobby coaching, and you don't actually you're not effective with people because you are hobby coaching. They don't listen to you. Because why? You haven't taken yourself serious. You haven't set up a professional business, a professional brand. You haven't taken the time to get training. You haven't taken the time to recognize, let me really study this. Let me get good at this and set it up as a business. Even if you're going to give something away for free, let me tell you something. If somebody doesn't see the value in you because you have controlled that narrative to cause people to see you as valuable, you can give something for free and they won't even use it. They won't even do it. Why? Oh, that's just Teresa. You know, Teresa. Girl, that's my girl from church. That's just Teresa. They don't take you serious. Why? People judge based on what they see. It's called perceived value. I had a client this week in a session. She said, after our last session, Rebecca, I was telling my friends everything you were telling me to do. And they said, well, we were telling you the exact same thing. Why didn't you listen to us? You'll listen to her, but you won't listen to us. And she was like, yeah, don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I'm going to listen to my professional coach, not you guys who I know all your personal life and all your struggles. And I already know you could be giving good advice, but at the end of the day, your life's a mess, or you're not so good in this area either. So why would I listen to you? So yeah, you may have been giving the same advice as Rebecca, but I'm going to listen to Rebecca. Why? Why are they going to listen to Rebecca? Because I have all of the branding and structure that says Rebecca's a professional coach and she knows what she's talking about. I created a platform to be respected for what I say. So for some of you guys, you're out here on the bench, hobby coaching. You're coaching people every day, but you're just not getting paid for it. That's right, Youre. Fruit speaks. Fruit speaks. And you want to coach people, but you're also afraid, like, well, I don't really have it all together, Rebecca. I really don't have it all. I didn't have it all together when I first started coaching either. But guess what? I still had life experiences and knowledge, and there were some things in my life that I had learned to get the victory over, learned how to work through it, learned what worked. And when I first started coaching, that's what I coached, what I knew. I didn't coach on areas where I was struggling. I coached on what I knew. I coached on things that I was already successful in. And then as I begin to grow and I become successful in other areas, then it's a different course. Here's another program dealing with something differently. It's a journey. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just got to be good at the one thing that you're going to coach. That's right. People will think price equals value. If it doesn't cost a lot, they don't think it's worth a lot. That's just human nature. That's human nature. So I have a free live class, you guys, that's coming. There's a link in the video. Get that link because I want you to register. I have a free live class, how to become a six-figure coach. How to become a six-figure coach. It doesn't matter what type of coach you want to be. It doesn't matter what type of coach you're interested in becoming. The class is going to specifically teach on how to become a six-figure coach. You don't have to spend years and years, scaling up to multiple six figures like me. You don't have to spend years doing that. In other words, you just need someone like me to be able to train you and tell you what to do. That's what was missing from my own experience. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a guide. I learned through trial and error, and it took me years to get here. Years and years to figure it out. Years of working side jobs and contracts and having other businesses on the side that I had to work and keep my other businesses going while I was growing my coaching business because I didn't have anybody to coach me like this. I didn't have anybody who was very, very successful as a coach to tell me what to do. So sign up for the free live class or for the free class. How to become a six-figure coach. It's free, absolutely free. You'll get the details once you register. Anybody that's not able to join me live for that class will actually get a download or a free replay. So you'll be able to, catch it anytime you're available at your convenience, even if you can't join me live. But just remember to sign up so you're able to join me in that class because I'm going to drop some nuggets on you, get you some resources, get you some help to help you understand the tools necessary for you to scale up to be a six-figure coach. Now, if you're just wanting to get certified and you're like, nope, skip it, Rebecca, I just want you to be my mentor. You want to take my 12-week training to get all of my experience in 12 weeks, sign up at that link as well. I'll put that link up above as soon as I get done. Hey, Rebecca, joining you here all the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Hello, honey, welcome. Welcome. So all of my classes are always virtual and always global, guys. You can join from anywhere in the world. All of my training is global as well. The 12-week coaching certification is also global. So you're able to join that. And there's payment plans for that as well. So for those of you who already know, you're like, look, Rebecca, I know I'm a coach. I know I need to get off the bench. I know I need to go ahead and get this training because I don't want to waste a bunch of time going in circles like you did in order to get my money and get to my success. No, I need 2020 to be launching my professional coaching business. I need 2020 to be literally adding some zeros in my bank account for me to get paid for what I'm already doing, right? So make sure you hit the links, guys, for the free live class. I'll be on teaching and leading up to that class as well. Our coaching certification for the fall starts September 23rd. That's our Abundant Life Coaches certification training. That starts September 23rd. I'll put a link above for that as well. But make sure you get registered for the live class, for the free class, How to Become a Six-Figure Coach. All right. Love you guys. Have a great afternoon. I hope you're having a really, really great Thursday. I love you. You're welcome, Michelle, on YouTube. Love you guys. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.